Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 10 of Wands as our first card. This is a heavy responsibility. This is somebody who is maxed out. This is like you've got the pedal mashed down into the carpet. Your accelerator foot is heavy, right? You've been burning the candle at both ends, kind of. I think that you've been going hard and fast, okay, in life. Putting in a lot of work. This is level 10 effort, you know? And this is being very generous with your time, effort, energy, and or money, kind of doubly so. Whatever you kind of think is like your best effort, you doubled it. You know what I mean? You've gone above and beyond the call of duty here. And I think that you're getting a little tired, maybe. You might be feeling like, you know, the wheels are about to fall off of this thing, but you're sticking with it. Whether this is at home, at work, at school, it doesn't matter. If it's a project, if it's an art thing, if it's a sport or a skill you're working on or developing or practicing, you're giving it your all and then some, okay? And sometimes this card is even about we're so deep into that activity and into that hard work, feeling so exhausted by it and feeling like we're carrying such a burden and such a responsibility on our shoulders, you may even forget, like, where you started. Or, better yet, why you started, okay? So there's always an implicit need in this card to return to the ace. You know, it's kind of saying that you need to remember why you're out here, because you're way in the distance. You're way in that dark, scary forest, and you're plugging along with such heart and such stamina, such endurance. You got to keep in mind why you're out here, okay? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. You know, this card is also the idea that you're out here in the dark, scary forest carrying all of this weight, doing all this hard work. You may not realize that there are resources there to help you. Sometimes this card is saying that you don't ask for help enough, okay? That you try to do everything by yourself. You're the one probably carrying in all the groceries in the house from the car at once, right? No, you don't need any help. You're just going to pile them up, line them up on your arms, and you're going to carry all the groceries in, you know? We've all been there. Let's put this card into the context it needs, okay? There we have, oh, okay. All right, well, we've got a Queen of Pentacles. We've got an Emperor. We got a Princess of Wands. We have an Ace of Swords. There's the ace that we were looking for, I think, right? It's not an Ace of Wands, but I think mentally this is you really not losing sight of the truth, the goal, the divine sanction of this, the mission that you're on right now, okay? And we, oh yeah, 9 of Cups coming your way. That's real happiness, okay? That's you living a happy life, yeah. And this is something that is really going to be of benefit to you. So I feel that whatever you're doing, yeah, it's going to pay off, all right? Let's keep going. We have a 5 of Pentacles, a 10 of Pentacles, and that's the resources in your environment too. So I think that there is this need for you to get the support, get the help. I don't know why it feels like you have to do everything yourself, but Spirit's saying that there are people, places, and things out there where and when you need them that you aren't taking advantage of. You're doing things the hard way when you don't exactly need to, okay? You're making a lot more progress than you know, but don't resist the assistance or the support or the help or the resources that are outside of you. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to reinvent every wheel. It's like you're trying to build a house, right? But you're the one that's trying to cut down the lumber, forge the nails, build all the hammers that you need. You know, you're trying to really do everything from scratch. And maybe when you're in the kitchen, that works out, but you're not trying to mill your own flour, are you? You're not trying to make your own butter, right? You're kind of just using some of the resources that are already there. You're not trying to squeeze together, a hydrogen and a couple of hydrogen and an oxygen atom, right, to make your own water. No, you're going to go get water somewhere. You don't have to do everything, you see? So that's kind of the extreme of that 10 of Wands, yeah. Okay, well, let's finish up here. 4 of Pentacles and a Knight of Wands, more of this fiery Aries energy. It's almost as if you have like an unlimited supply of energy right now, okay? That there's nothing that you don't feel energized to do. It's like you've had plenty of coffee today, okay? This is really strong energy, and I really love the happiness here because I feel like this is all that reward that's motivating you. This is how you're able to keep going, because it feels good. You have, honestly, look at this. You have mostly fire and earth. You are a manifester. You are literally a magic maker. All right, this is awesome. We're going to select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with, no, not Mr. Ed. We're going to be using, well, for a little bit of calm, let's do our little sea turtle friend who still doesn't have a name. Gosh darn it, I want to come up with a name for our little nameless sea turtle friend. We're not going to look at that card until the end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we really only see the one major arcana energy, and this seems to be your anchor. This seems to be what's really grounding you, and there's this emperor here. This authority, this sovereignty, this agency, a real fortified ego. I feel like you're as strong inside and as confident as you've ever been. Yeah, I think your ego is healthy and fortified. It's not too small. It's not too big, right? It's just the right size. And I think that it's allowing you to have the strength and have the agency and have the power to manifest whatever this is that you're manifesting, but to do so also with consideration for the people around you, for the consideration of the other aspects of your life. Because of this 9 of Cups, this is abundance, superabundance, on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes, 333. This isn't just a material goal for you. Okay, this is something that you are manifesting on the material plane. We have all this earth energy, this really good earth energy. But your earth energy is going to be full, right? It's not going to be hollow. This 10 of Pentacles is not empty shells. Whatever you're creating, whatever you're manifesting is not going to be empty or devoid of any sort of deeper connection or love or compassion. See, when you're a magic maker, you have your fire and earth, right? We've got the fire, 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 fire. Even this Aries energy, right? It's pure fire. Fire, 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 fire. Earth, 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 and earth. Okay? Fire and earth, that's all you have. Fire and earth, well, it's really 4 and 4 cards. And that is the spiritual electrical circuit of creation. That is the art and science of manifestation. That is magic. That is it, right? Going from heaven to earth, will to action, intention to implementation. Inspiration to the realization of that inspiration. idea to its materialization, heaven to earth, above to below, right? Fire and earth. What does fire and earth need? What conducts that spiritual electrical current? Well, water and air, the human heart and mind. In the hierarchy of the hermetic elements, you have fire and earth down at the bottom. What's connecting the two? Water and air, the other elements, right? The other four elements. And you have those. So I said you have all fire and water, that's it. You also have a clear mind, a sober head, a level thinking, right? Level-headedness. And you have not only a pure heart, but you have a compassionate heart, a loving heart, a happy heart. You have empathy, you have compassion, you have love, you have gratitude. You have abundance on every plane of being. The physical abundance, you know, the creation of what you, of this wealth and this, the cornucopia of your manifestations. You have abundance in your heart and mind. You have abundance on the spiritual plane. So this is really that wonderful water energy that's conducting this electricity. Of course, it's going through your very clear head. You have such mental clarity, mental acuity, right? You're able to really concentrate and really focus. I think answers are coming to you like this lately. You may find that things that used to feel so complicated now are just like easy, you know, simple. So this is, you have the best reading. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of you connecting with the past. You know, I think there's a really big jackpot coming. And I think your life is going to change for a long time. It's going to get, I mean, it's wonderful, right? This is the card that's saying your sort of work right now, or the thing that's being advised to you by Spirit, is to look at your past. Look at the long and winding road that it took for you to get here. When this win comes in, when this jackpot arrives, in whatever you're doing, at work, at home, at school, maybe you're retired, maybe this is your passion project, your art project, maybe it's something you're building a home, or whatever it is, right? Whatever you're working on in life. When it arrives, when that jackpot feeling arrives, be sure to look back at the path you've been on. Okay? This is the long and winding road. The twists and turns, the ups and downs. Okay? This is every wrong turn, every lesson, every mistake, every distraction that maybe felt like it was throwing you off course or something. All of that stuff kind of, in some way, helped. In some way, you still got here. Okay? This is about looking at the past and appreciating the choices that you made, even the mistakes, even the wrong choices, even the bad decisions you made. Appreciating all of that. All of the hardships, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the leaping laughter, all of the kind of crushing defeats that you've experienced. All of it is part of the map. It's part of your history. So this is almost a card that's saying, pat yourself on the back. Also, acknowledge where you came from. Acknowledge the people around you that have been supporting you. You don't have to carry all the burden alone. I think part of the Ten of Wands here is you looking and seeing that you did this through your strength, okay? Through your exertion of your energy, your expenditures. Yeah. But also to have an awareness and appreciation for everybody around you. Everything that went into helping you along the way, everything that inspired you, everyone that inspired you. Okay, it's kind of like you're almost giving your thank you speech on stage or something. I kind of feel that's what's going on in a way. But looking at the past, you're looking at your Princess of Wands. And when I said at the beginning that sometimes with that 10 we have to reconnect with why we did this, why we're out here. Well, this is kind of you connecting with the beginning of it. Connecting with this idea and maybe giving thanks and praise. Because when this began for you, feels like it was just yeah, sure, why not? it wasn't like some calculated, very like, I've had this dream forever and I've been planning for it forever and ever and ever, and now I'm doing it very intentionally and very, very calculated. Feels like it was kind of a whim. Feels like you just said, yeah, I'll try it. And it's turning out to be the very best decision you've ever made. It may have felt like you just kind of jumped into something that was reckless. I just took a risk. I just said, yeah, heck with it. Why not? What have I got to lose? And it's really changing your life, isn't it? Did you go to a poetry reading or something like that recently? Or there's something about poetry being spoken aloud. The Spirit's referencing that, okay? I feel like this was almost like in a way, maybe this was the beginning of a financial project or some kind of financial goal for you, that you just kind of like either you started some kind of a side hustle, or you just said, yeah, I'll throw some money in that stock or something like that. And oh my gosh, lo and behold, this whimsical, spur of the moment kind of energy is really going to pay off. And so I think you're looking back at that and thinking, that was the moment. This was the moment that felt like it was just nothing. Like, just felt kind of exciting or fun at the time. And so I did it and it felt good and whatever. But it really like was the beginning of something unbelievable, And I think sometimes we look back at these moments where it's just like, I didn't think about it. This wasn't something that you planned, and it wasn't part of some bigger strategy, some big, in a boardroom with a bunch of people in suits and ties or whatever, trying to figure out the best thing to do and how to, how to accomplish a particular goal. No, it's just kind of like, it was just on a whim. It was just a creative spark, but it lit such a fire. And I think it's been building momentum. It's been building up and up and up. Okay. And I think that really is part of this Emperor energy. I think that this work, or whatever this is that you're doing, has really brought out your best leadership kind of qualities. Like a good emperor, right, is one that has the creative spark, has the clarity of mind and the mental acuity, and also has the love and the abundance and the compassion and the gratitude. These two together make a really nice emperor, a really nice boss. Like I want you to be my boss, honestly, because this is somebody that keeps things simple, but has the ability to inspire others. Yeah, the ability to serve others, to serve the higher need here. It's like you're the boss. It doesn't mean that it's kind of top down, that you're the one that's sort of just ordering everybody around and your opinion is the only one that matters. It's kind of like, yeah, you might be the boss or the CEO or the manager or whatever, right? The leader. But it's kind of like that's just your role. It's in the service of this larger project. It's my role to give instructions to other people, or it's my role to assign duties to people, or whatever it is exactly. Just as it's the other people's role to do certain things too. You have someone that works in the HR department, someone in the accounting department, you have the purchasing people, you have the accounts payable, whatever, the warehouse people. Everybody has a role in it. Okay? So it's not that you're holding yourself above anybody else. Okay? You're there to serve the higher purpose, to serve the needs of everybody else. And it's kind of like, as a good boss, you kind of, a good boss, like, how to say this? It's not that you don't have anything to do, but when things are going smoothly, there's really not a lot for you to do. You're just there to kind of solve problems when they arise, because if everybody's happy, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And I do think that there are other people around you, because we do have 1, 2, 3 court cards, and of course your Emperor energy here under the surface. So it makes sense to me. Okay. It makes sense to me that there are other people here that you might be in a position of leadership, right, in relation to those other people. But I kind of feel like, sometimes a good boss is just finding more ways to make everybody else happy. That's a good boss. Yeah. and just kind of fixing problems when they arise. Yeah, and I say that because of your Five of Pentacles as well, that you're kind of the fixer. But there's also the message here that you don't have to fix everything yourself. Rely on these other people and let them take care of their part of it. Let them have their role. Sometimes that 10 of Wands is you taking too much responsibility that everybody else is like, well, now what am I going to do? Now I don't have a job because, Leo's just they took my job away from me because they're doing it now. And so I don't think you're literally doing that. But the energy here is someone who is trying to do everything themselves and not let anybody else kind of participate. You got to let other people have some fun here too. Okay. And maybe it's just because you feel like either you don't want to burden other people, or that if you want something done right, you do it yourself, like that kind of thing. Okay. And I feel like with this, it started as something that was just fun for you. I feel like this card, Spirit's kind of bringing this picture to me. You're like following your curiosity. It was a new hobby, you joined a club, you maybe traveled somewhere that you've never been. It wasn't anything all that serious. It has become serious. It's maybe that, you're just building computers in your garage. Next thing you know, you have the world-dominating computer company or something. That it kind of started small. Yeah. But don't imagine yourself to be alone. Okay? Don't imagine yourself to be alone. The Emperor sometimes can feel lonely, right? Because it's kind of lonely at the top, or, that you have all of this responsibility. And maybe part of this is you do feel responsible because the Ten of Wands, right? It's a heavy responsibility. You may feel responsible for everybody else in your life. Okay, which may be, there's a tendency, or there's a risk there that we won't really be connecting with everybody because we're so worried about our responsibility, right? It's kind of because you have to take care of everybody else, and that's like a really big job, big important job for you. It may be that you're at risk of not really enjoying your life. Too much responsibility, which feels good, right? You want to make sure you also have time to rest and recharge and feel it and enjoy that life. Partake of the abundance, okay? Partake of the abundance. Up above the surface, this Ace of Swords, you're somebody that can trust your intuition right now. I think that Spirit is telling you to keep trusting your intuition. Feel the truth that's kind of within you and above you and coming down from the universe. That this is clarity, this is mental acuity, this is a level head, a sober mind, clear thinking. Okay? Don't make it too complicated. Keep it simple. Yeah. And also Spirit's saying to reach out for support. If things are getting too if you're starting to feel the burnout a little bit, if things feel like they're too heavy, too much weight on your shoulders, reach out for support. The resources are there around you, okay? In the future position, your 9 of Cups, that is happiness, okay? That is abundance, like I said, in every dimension of life. Everything is interconnected. Okay, this isn't something that is just a material goal. It's something that really has a deeper sense of purpose. I think you have a joy in this, even though right now it may feel like you're stretched thin. There's a lot of pressure on you, a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility. I think nevertheless, you're still enjoying this. But that's why Spirit wants you to connect with the past a little bit. Okay? To remember that this started out as just something kind of whimsical and fun that sparked your curiosity, that sparked your creativity, that it sparked the joy. Okay? Allow it to do that again, to reconnect with that sort of origin. Okay? There's some kind of a family thing going on for you. Is there, I don't know, if there's like a family reunion or something like that, I'm seeing a group of people gathering together. Maybe this is part of the message here to collaborate more. Bring others into your plans more. Okay, let other people sort of have a job. You know, give other people something to do. Give them a responsibility so that they kind of feel included. And then it also will amplify the success. Okay? And that's probably part of our Nine of Cups, right? Extending all of this abundance into every dimension of being. This is going to feel really good. It probably already does, you know? This could be as a counterbalance to our Ten of Wands. This could be a message that says, make sure you recharge your batteries. Make sure you refill your cups, okay? By experiencing the joy, by allowing yourself to take a break once in a while and just say, yeah, this feels good, you know? Because the Ten of Wands leaves no room for anything else. It's 10 wands. It's like it's maxed out. So it might be saying, let's taper back a little bit. Let's delegate. Let's give other people let's trust other people enough to give them some responsibility. And that way you can experience some of this really, really fine water energy. Because this is the only water energy we have. And of course, your mind has to be the conductor of the spiritual current of electricity, but so does your heart. And if you don't tend to your heart, this breaks down. If this isn't here, your manifestations fail. If this isn't here, your manifestations fail. Okay? Now, Spirit's, I don't know what this is. Spirit's saying something about Australia Day. I don't know if that means anything to you, or if that's maybe for a particular person. Something about celebrating Australia Day with your family. Okay? Anyway, I feel like you're kind of entering into some still waters. Yeah, a peace, a peacefulness, a happiness, a joy. Okay? Because I think that the hard work now is there's a turning point. Yeah, I think there's a moment here of the still waters, anyway. And I think that it is part of this Queen of Pentacles energy. The real jackpot, the huge jackpot that's going to change your life. This is kind of like a liminal period. This is a space in between, because we have the Queen of Pentacles dealing with an ending, and we have a Knight of Wands dealing with another beginning. Okay, that's kind of what the Queens and the Knights mean in the tarot generally. The Queens are processing an ending. So I think something is wrapping up for you. Maybe it's like the fiscal year. I don't know what that even is, really. But it's something is kind of coming to a head. Something is sort of concluding. It is a really huge jackpot. And you're being told to enjoy it. Maybe it's a vacation coming up. Maybe it's the end of a really big quarter or really big contract or something like that. Or the conclusion of the project itself. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're in school and this is some kind of the end of the semester, or I don't know. To enjoy the space between. Yeah. To enjoy the space between. Spirit's bringing me back to the Emperor saying, lead with kindness. Even when it's easier to sometimes just snap and be a tyrant, breathe, speak gently, and Spirit saying that you do that. You lead with kindness. You lead with abundance and gratitude, and that Nine of Swords is Nine of Swords. Was that a premonition of the mystery card? I hope not. I kind of want to look. The Nine of Cups is you speaking with kindness, as opposed to what a Nine of Swords would have been in this position, which would have been you leading with cruelty and malice and, I don't want that kind of, don't be my boss if you got a Nine of Swords in that position, right? But you got the Nine of Cups, so you can be my boss, that's okay. On the path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do, okay? Your general energy is this Five of Pentacles. You're a fixer. You're someone who is going to look at something that's not working and you're going to fix it. You're going to work on it. And that's kind of like, that's what a good emperor is going to do. And when something is running smoothly, all you can really do is listen for the little squeaks and rattles and the clunking noise in the engine and stuff, and then, okay, well, I'm going to look under the hood and whatever, and fix it. And I think that this is how you're very attentive to this thing. I don't know, project, whatever it is exactly. You're listening for the squeaks, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You're kind of driving the car and you're listening for any rattles, yeah. And that sort of is directing your energy, yeah. And the 5 is, well, it's a little bit of worry as well, especially when we take this in conjunction with our 10 of Wands. It seems like there's some worry going on that, like I said at the beginning, it feels kind of like you're stretched thin. It feels like there's a lot of weight on you, and that you've been burning the candle at both ends, pedal to the metal kind of thing. And the 5 of Pentacles might be, kind of sounds like the wheels are starting to come off. It kind of sounds like we're starting to worry that this is not going to, materialize, that the manifestation is not going to work. We're not sure. Especially with the 5, because the 5, what do I say about the 5? It's the 5-fingered hand. But the 5 of Pentacles is when you've rolled the dice. That you've thrown them down the table and they're tumbling now. And once the dice leave your hand, it's just a wing and a prayer. Please let them land, whatever, I don't know what you need. And I don't play craps, but whatever number you need, let's hope for that. But that's kind of like, after you put in your best effort, you leave the rest to spirit. It's you do everything that you can, but once it's out of your hands, and the dice have left your hand, they're tumbling down the table, it's kind of like, okay, it's not up to me anymore. Yeah. A Spirit's asking, are you frustrated by slow results? And that 10 of Wands, are you tempted to give up too soon? Don't do that. Right? Because the abundance is here. The jackpot is coming. Okay? The 10 of Pentacles in the environment, well, that's literally going to be the jackpot, the big jackpot that you need in your environment. This is the card in the position of your environment. And it is wealth. Right? So that to me feels like the money coming in. This is kind of, I'm worried that I'm going to run out of resources, or that this isn't going to work, or that I'm going to burn out before we get that jackpot. No, the jackpot's here. The jackpot's coming. Okay? Spirit wants you to know that Spirit sees your struggles and supports you. Hold that close to you. Okay? And keep your heart open. Yeah. I'm seeing something about grandchildren. I don't know why I'm seeing grandchildren at a playground. I don't know if you're a grandparent or if you're a grandchild. Something about grandkids at a playground. Yeah, maybe it's speaking about your grandparents or something like that. But anyway, the 10 of Pentacles is also the resources that are available to you, that Spirit wants you to use those resources. But mainly, it's a 10 and a 10. Okay, and we rarely get a 10 and a 10. Maximum effort, maximum reward. The materialization without any loss. Okay, and the 10s of the tarot are not finite. It's not just 10. It's not saying that's all you get, 5 and 5, that's it. No, the 10s of the tarot really are Spirit's way of saying an infinite number of something. You have 10 wands, but that's not as hard as you can go or as fast as you can go. We can always go faster. We can always do more. We can always take another step. We can always expand in some way and put in more effort. Hire more people, get another printing machine or whatever it is, right? We can always grow and expand to put in more resources into the system. Not you personally. Maybe you're saying, I'm maxed out. I'm tapped out, right? But maybe, if you are getting close to that burnout of your spiritual fuel, if you feel like you're kind of running on empty, maybe that's a time for you to delegate some of that so that, this thing can keep going, but you can have a little bit of time to rest or refuel. But the tens of the tarot are saying that there's never a limit to how much energy you can put into a system. And the Ten of Pentacles is saying there's no limit to how much you can get out of the system, how much result you can get out of it, right? Because we're just a base 10 culture. We go 8, 9, 10, infinite number. Some cultures are base 3. They say 1, 2, 3, and then a whole bunch. Like I tell my daughter, if you can count to 10, you can count to infinity if you wanted to. If you had eternity, right? You can count to infinity. Because it's just 10, which is the tarot's way of saying 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000, a gazillion. It really doesn't matter. It's open-ended, you see. And so we have a 10 and a 10, which is Spirit's way of saying that this jackpot is going to be as big as you want to make it. Okay? If you're putting in your personal level 10 energy, you're going to get a level 10 result. If you want to double this by expanding, by getting your best friend to come help you, you're going to double the outcome. Every time you double the input, you're going to double the output. There's really a time now where you're going to experience a lot of success. Kind of like saying double down on whatever you're doing now. Not to the point that you do burn out, though. It's kind of, you got a tailwind right now. There's an ease and a flow. I think because you're so aligned with your purpose and your heart is so open and full and gracious, you've got that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. You pump up the power source and you increase the output in that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. You're attached to the battery, right? The fire, the energy, and the output, the mechanical movement of the machine, whatever it is. Your spiritual, your wiring can handle it. You turn up the energy at the source and you turn up the productivity at the end. You see what I'm saying? So you have that ability right now, not to the point where your wire is going to be frayed or you're going to break a circuit. So make sure you don't blow a circuit, blow a fuse, but through delegating, through connecting with the kind of origin of this and bringing in other people and allowing other people to take some responsibility by asking for resources, by taking in energy, taking in resources that you can use as fuel, that sort of thing. Okay. At one point in your life, you were kind of lost in overthinking. I think back in the day, you used to let your fears drive the car, right? Now, this Ace of Swords is sharp, very clear. Okay. I think you're going to be celebrating something, a milestone, a waypoint of some kind. Celebrate that. Host a dinner, throw a party, enjoy the moments of accomplishment, right? That five, or the Five of Wands giving way to a Nine of Cups. Okay, so we have the 10 of Cups. We have the 4 of Cups, which is your fear, worry, and concern. Couple of things here. I know the video's getting long. Anytime we get a 4, we start looking, or anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4. So you have the 4. So part of the worry of the 5 is that maybe I should just like end it now and just go back to some sort of basic stability. Because it's like, the faster you go in the car or in the submarine or in the spacecraft, the faster you go, like the walls start shaking, the wheels start shaking, and like it feels like the thing's gonna fall apart. The faster you go, your vessel starts to lose its structural integrity. The screws are starting to vibrate out, and you're just like, it's gonna fall apart. So part of you wants to slow down just so you can feel safe, just so things can stabilize, okay? And so this is the real obstacle for you is this feeling like if I just stop and slow down, and if I just stop the car, put it in park, I'll feel safe again. Because we've been going so fast, it literally feels like the wheels are gonna fall off, okay? So stability is really, kind of a very tempting prospect. Maybe we should just slow down and go and take it really slow and just I'll feel better. But at the same time, this card is also a box. It's also a limiting, isolating energy. And I think that is kind of your bigger fear, is that you have all of this potential right now, but if you let your fear get in the way, you're not going to achieve it and you're going to stay small. You're going to stay small, okay? Spirit is encouraging you to keep the faith. Trust in your vessel, trust in what you're doing, trust in the people around you, and keep going, okay? Because the last thing that you want is to just go back to the sort of baseline life, to go back to wherever you were before, to kind of to say, you know what, you had the opportunity, you had the world in your hands, and you got scared and you left. That's the last thing you want to do, okay? So what we see then, instead, is a Knight of Wands. Now this, again, double Aries energy. I would watch the Aries reading if I were you. The Knight of Wands is a surge of energy. Again, it's kind of like you're taking some time to regroup and to recharge and to celebrate the win, and then you're right back at it. This is your work week. This is the weekend. And then this is you're getting back to work, you know, come Monday morning, so to speak. Okay. This is a surge of energy. This, to me, is kind of a more matured part of this. It's like we understand what this was. The spark of joy, the spark of curiosity, the creativity, the whim, just the dancing with the tiger, the risk. Now you're doing it again, but now you kind of understand, you're doing it intentionally. Well, we're back here, it was just kind of like, it was just spontaneous, right? Now it's not so spontaneous, but it has the same energy, you see. So this is a surge of that motivation, that enthusiasm. But it's kind of like you understand how to summon it at will now. It wasn't just something random, like I couldn't repeat this if I wanted to. It's just, it was a perfect moment. I just said, okay, and it happened, and oh my gosh. Now you're saying, I understand how that happened, and I know how to do it again. Or I know how to keep it going, right? So this to me feels like we're beginning again with this renewed vigor, renewed energy and enthusiasm, motivation, encouragement. I feel like you are divinely protected right now. Now you host some kind of a Sunday dinner or something, right? Or like some kind of like a roast, like, I don't know, some kind of like a big event or something maybe. Maybe that's maybe that's the celebration for this big jackpot. Yeah. This is us leaping into action. I think leaping back into action. Coming in Monday morning with just a surge of energy. You're ready to go hard again. To keep, because again, it's open-ended, right? There's no limit. It's not like this is your jackpot, that's it, go home. You're done, that's all you get. No. You can show up every day if you want and keep going. And keep going and keep going and keep going. Don't let your ego become the backseat driver, though. Make sure your fortified ego is in charge, following the directions of Spirit. Okay, these sort of spiritual downloads, this truth, this clarity that's coming in. Don't let your ego interfere with your intuition. This is in the proper place here. If this were reversed, that would be a problem. Because that would be then ego thinking it knows better than the spiritual downloads that you're receiving in your consciousness. So we have it the right way here. The antenna's got to be on top, coming into the fortified ego. Okay. I love this reading. Now let's look at the mystery card. I don't want it to be a 9 of Swords. I hope I didn't jinx anything there. No, I think it's going to be probably a 9 of Cups, maybe a 9 of Pentacles. It could be a 9 of Wands, I guess, maybe if we're feeling a little bit run down. Maybe that's this idea or would reinforce that idea that we need a little bit of a recharge. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Could be the Empress, because I feel like the Empress is the fire and earth, that the Emperor is trying to create this life that it wants to live. This fortified ego wants to live luxuriously, wants to live in a life that feels good and happy and joyous. And it's like, that's the environment that you want to be in. Yeah, your big rock candy mountain, your paradise, your Garden of Eden. So let's see what we have. Oh, it is the Nine of Pentacles. Very nice. Nine of Pentacles to go with our Nine of Cups. You're living a happy life. You're living a successful life. The thing about the nines is that they are odd numbers, verbs, functions rather than states. It's not a state of perfection. It's not a state of happiness or a state of success. It's a continuation of that. You understand how to keep it going, how to live successfully. Okay, which isn't just you achieve this big jackpot and then that's it. You're understanding how to keep it going, how to keep things in motion. I love the nines of the tarot. Of course, getting a Nine of Wands and a Nine of Swords isn't all that pleasant sometimes, but you got the good stuff here. This is the real big jackpot. And the thing about the Nine of Pentacles is that it's reminding you. So you have your pets and your plants, right? Where are your people? Make sure you connect with your people. Make sure that you continue to show them the love and gratitude that they deserve, and that collaboration, that family vibe, the culture that you're creating in your life is so important. You want to stay connected with the meaning and the purpose of what you're doing. Okay. Spirit has a specific message saying that your ancestors are walking beside you. Embrace that message, okay? Embrace that message. The Nine of Pentacles also reminds you, because that little snail down at the bottom reminds you to slow down. Enjoy the life that you've created. And then you speed back up, okay? Then we're taking the scenic route for a little while. Pack your bags, go on a vacation, and then you're going to get back to work, okay? Pedal to the metal again. But make sure that you're enjoying the fruit of your labor the whole way through. Make sure that you are continuing to do this for the right reasons. Make sure that you continue loving and appreciating the people around you. Make sure you continue asking for help and bringing in the resources and taking advantage of the resources that are available to you. It's not a sign of weakness to say that we need something to augment our energy. It's not a sign of weakness to say, I got to hire 50 people because my business is getting so big that I can't do it all myself. That's not weakness. That's growth, right? That's compounding growth. That is, that's exponential growth. It's definitely not weakness, okay? Because remember, this Ten of Pentacles is open-ended. And the Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups is saying there's no limit to your success. There's no limit to your happiness. This has got to be the best reading. I really feel it is. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.